All right, here we are again today. It's September 7th, 2024, and right at 11 o'clock, you're here with us, the virtual open house guys, on our live stream on the Chesmar Homes community out in Potranco Oaks. And I'm here with my business partner, Shane Tracy.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be another awesome community that we want to highlight and make sure that you're well aware of what your options are and how you can save with Chesmar Homes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll just jump right in because as we've discovered over doing these the last couple of weeks that we're not only showing you guys virtual open houses, we're also kind of giving you a webinar of sorts. We want you to kind of have this home buyer / home seller seminar so that you kind of know exactly how we can help you and how we make a difference in this process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get into it.
All righty. All right. So first off, we're just going to go over an overview really quick. You know, when you sign with us, we want you to know what to expect. Ultimately, what we want to do is make sure that you're saving money over time and right up front. If we can get that done for you, then obviously we're worth what we're going to be asking for in return. In addition to that, you're going to see all the other things that we like to help out with. There's also the new buyer agency requirements we want to get into. We'll talk about free resources we offer everyone who joins us on these meetings. If you're not familiar with San Antonio or just want to know where these communities are, we have a map that we'll show you. And then, of course, we're going to get into what we feature here, which is the Chesmar Homes in the showcase. And Shane, you were out there not too long ago. What do you think about Chesmar's packages out Potranco Oaks?
Well, it's absolutely wonderful. You are going to get an experience where it's quiet, tranquil. You are close to where you need to be, but you've got some space. and so you're not too far out from San Antonio, and you've got some space. It's a quite a resort type feeling where you're off by yourself. And I'll be going over that again for sure as we're going through this, but it's worth the wait to check this out.
Absolutely. And these homes are literally probably some of the few half-acre lots you're going to find in San Antonio or even close to San Antonio. And so we'll definitely get into that. And then, of course, we'll jump into the incentives, the current inventory, and earnest money requirements. And, of course, last but not least, we have a gift drawing for the 6 folks that registered for this event prior to. So we'll be taking questions during each of these. All right. Cool. Now, you can start us off here, Shane. You know, as the virtual open house guys, obviously we want people to work with us because we know we can help them. And what are some of those reasons you would share with people as to how we help?
So you're not always going to be able to find all the homes online. That's for sure. And there's so much building going on in and around San Antonio that there are times the builders do not put the homes on the MLS, and then from there be able to search it on Zillow and Realtor.com and all of that. So one of the things that we really make sure of is that we are in contact with these builders and we know what is going on the ground right then and what is available as soon as possible. And that's important to you because as interest rates, I know we're going to go over this later, but as interest rates go down, we're going to see many more people want to move forward and purchase that right new home for them. So Absolutely. It's important that you stay connected with us and we'll make sure that you know what's available.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I mean, yes, we're literally looking at, as Shane mentioned, there's off-market properties, there's pre-market properties, there's reduced priced homes out there, there's lower monthly payments when you look at the new builds that we're showing you. If you're not familiar with the difference between pre-owned and new builds, a lot of reason we show you the new builds up front is because there are so many incentives that can help you lower the cost up front again and over time, to include lower monthly payments, to include zero money down, low to no closing costs, that we even between Shane and I can come up with things to help you, even if there's student loans that you need forgiveness with, yes. Or even credit issues. So, and Shane, I know you're familiar with the student loan program, but how valuable a tool has that been for us over the last few years?
I have actually had clients that didn't think that they could buy a home because of their student loan debt. And once they're introduced to My Education Solutions, which is the company here in San Antonio that we absolutely enjoy working with. They actually have solutions, so they end up actually lowering your monthly payments to your student loan debt repayment. Okay, for federal student loans, and that in turn provides more money that you can use towards the purchase of your home. And let me tell you, it can be the difference between owning a home and not owning a home.
Yes,
And
it's great.
I will say that over and over and over again. It's wonderful. They're great to work with, and it costs you very little. Costs you
Yeah.
very little to get started.
And it's interesting because we heard student loan forgiveness. What we didn't learn or know about was what they have with the student loan default. When I found out, one of our clients had to be a couple of years ago, they were in default, and we knew that the normal program, once you sign up through the federal program that they have available, you have to stay with that program for 9 months. But with My Education Solutions, they actually jumped in before they signed up for the program, and somehow 3-4 weeks later, they had a letter of good standing, and even the lender we were working with was like, that's not possible. How did they do that? And there's like, give us their info, because they were just blown away. Like, they just got them out of student loan default. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work for every case, but if you have a situation with student loans, who better to go to than the people we're recommending? And that's how we're going to help you.
I want to jump in here and talk about what it means to be an expert in your area and to be plugged in. So not everyone's going to know what My Education Solutions can do. And they are the experts in this area of making your life better by getting rid of or lowering your federal student loan debt. It's a big deal. And I will tell you, you can go to a lender right now. You can call up a lender right now, and they will not know anything about My Education Solutions. I promise you. We have educated lenders, right, Julian?
Absolutely.
We've
All the time.
educated lenders on My Education Solutions. And it's a real once the lenders know and get again plugged in to the experts at My Education Solutions, then they're like, oh, didn't know this even was there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the craziest part is they're blown away. It's like, wait a minute, this is something that if we had access to this, we could get a whole lot more people approved for homes. Well, guess what? When you work with Shane and I, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to help you get more people approved for homes. Bottom line. So yeah, awesome stuff. And of course, with credit issues, we have the expertise there. We don't necessarily want to show you how to fix your credit, but again, as Shane mentioned, we have the experts. We know the folks that are going to get you where you need to be. There's certain builders that actually have programs. There's certain credit experts that have programs. It doesn't matter which it is. Shane and I are going to pre-qualify you before we hand you off to someone. We're going to tell you their credentials, make sure you're comfortable with them, get you prepped to work with them. It's not going to be you don't meet a certain credit score. Let me hand you off to my lender and see what they can do for you. No. Me and Shane work with multiple lenders. We work with multiple experts. And because of that, we're going to point you in the right direction and actually do a warm handoff. There's never, ever going to be this point where you feel like we just moved you over in the cold fashion that you may or may not be used to.
Absolutely. I want to just double up on what Julian was just saying. And you're never alone when you're working with Julian and I. We are going to be there every step of the way, and we have the solutions in place. As you are wanting to look at buying a home, your situation, yes, some of the steps are the same no matter who you are buying a home, but I will tell you it's unique every time because there are unique situations that each and every buyer is looking at, is having to go through. And as these situations become more and more complex, you need to have the experts on your side to make sure that you are navigating this successfully. And that's where Julian and I come in. This is not just, we're there to show you a home and you close. No. We're there to guide you each and every step. Right, Julian?
Absolutely. And that's why when we say when you sign with us, there's a whole lot more to it than just getting the doors open.
Yes.
All right. And with that being said, leading perfect segue right into buyer agency, right? As of 2024, there was a settlement with NAR and National Association of Realtors, for those who don't know, and there was a consumer settlement basically saying that maybe some realtors weren't very fair about explaining the process to buyers and sellers. So Shane and I've always prided ourselves on having a presentation put together. It turns out that's the standard that should have been being used the whole time. A lot of people just weren't using it. So we don't feel like it's anything new to us, but we also want to make sure that if you're hearing any rumors on the street, we clear that up for you. And so the settlement was signed. It's a disclosure. Prior to touring, we want to make sure everyone that we work with tours a home knowing that we're the right choice. So you got to make that choice before we can take you on a tour, and it has to be in writing. So that's the main thing. So we want to make sure that you know what you're paying for, that you get the lowest monthly payments. We come up with less closing costs to the table, as well as inform you on rebates, student loan forgiveness, as we mentioned, rent to own, or even down payment assistance. So when you're working with us, it's not just a matter of signing a piece of paper so we can, like I said, open a door for you. We're going to share with you exactly what we do, the entire process. There's like, we always go over this form and we talk about 89 different forms of turbulence that might happen.
Yes.
It's probably well over 120 forms of turbulence, maybe more than that. But when you work with Shane and I, we take care of any of that turbulence for you so you have a smooth ride. Right, Shane?
It's important to understand that when you are represented by a professional, licensed realtor, broker, you are going to be taken care of, specifically when you're talking to Julian and I and us representing you. It's important to understand that your success rate of closing on a new home is much, much higher when you are represented. That has already been proven by the builders, and that's why 99% of them, Julian, right, embrace those buyers that are professionally represented.
Absolutely.
And I want to, while we're talking about this, if this is kind of making you, not sure, what do you mean? I've got to sign an agreement and this, and that, and the other. There's lots of misnomers out there, and we catch them all the time, and we want to dispel them. And one of those is that if you don't have a realtor or real estate broker representing you, then the actual cost of the home will be less. Julian, is that true?
Not even close. It's almost to the point where you have to decide if, in fact, the seller is representing the builder, which the buyer rep, or correction, the seller rep is the rep that sits in that house. Would it be a conflict of interest if they were selling your home and trying to give away more money or less money based on whether they could get people to agents to bring people out there? Well, yeah, you could argue one way or the other, but what it boils down to for us is, are we showing you the value? Can we get in there because we have relationships with builders that maybe other realtors don't have, maybe relationships you don't have? What if they've already told us that $411,000 home that they marketed is now marked down to $395? They told us, but if you were to show up, they're going to tell you, hey, we can discount that $411 down to $405, save you a little bit of money. They're going to negotiate for that seller, which is the builder, and they might have already shared this information with us because we get information ahead of time. Because if there's something that's moving slowly, that probably means that sellers, or correction, the buyers don't know about them. They're not going to tell us that there's incentivized homes that are moving fast. So when we tell you about these incentives, it's because these homes aren't moving fast, and they're now reaching out to realtors for the help, and they use a separate budget to pay us. They basically say, thank you for all the marketing you guys are doing. We appreciate the fact that you guys are taking the time to run Facebook ads, do the stuff like we're doing right here with this call and meeting with you guys, because you're the ones that are helping get these consumers out here realizing that there is a benefit to using a realtor, and we recognize it as well. That's why we offer you guys your payment through a different budget, not through the reduction in the price of the home, because if we know about the reduction, we'll get that too. If there's incentives, we'll get that too. And guess what? If they offer us enough money in the commission, we can also help rebate and lower some of your closing costs with that too. So it's not ever going to be a disservice to you. It's only going to be a benefit. Now, again, the sellers and the builders know, and I definitely know, we know that the builders know that by using us, there's much more likelihood that they're going to get a deal closed.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you want somebody that is in your corner in this very important. This may be the largest financial decision you ever make in your entire life with buying a home. And we want to make sure you have peace of mind that we are in your corner, not the builder's corner. The builder has got their own representation for sure every time, no doubt. This is to make sure that you have somebody that is there to represent you and do the very best for you, to put you first. And I
Absolutely.
know it's a hopefully a breath of fresh air for you to hear that. And we want to just really drive it home. That's why we're doing this. We want to make sure that we get the right message out to all those home buyers, right, Julian?
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, this is going to feel as much like a webinar as it does like a virtual open house. So
Yeah,
we're going to make sure we educate people and let them know this is why we do this. So,
absolutely.
all right, and then to kind of as we're getting closer to showcasing these homes for you guys, here's some of the resources for just attending and some of the things that will help you out in the long run. Just for showing up and attending this event, we'll send out a replay, of course, but included with that link, you're going to see a place where you can get pre-listing, pre-buyer presentation package. It's going to help you learn a little bit more about how to make informed decisions. A lot of this stuff is video based, so you'll watch either myself or Shane on video describing exactly how we help and how these resources help you. Home affordability calculator, the keep your checkbook at home, the new build test drive voucher that we use, because we want people to come out and see the experience without feeling like there's going to be any pressure. And trust us, we've been there where the sales counselors will put pressure on you, but guess who's going to step in if we feel like you're being made uncomfortable? Yep, that's right, Shane and I. Right, we've seen it happen too many times where they're like, "Well, is this the right home for you? Are you sure you're right? Because hey, we can't hold this more than a couple of days." And we're like, "But there's 7 other floor plans that are exactly like it. So maybe this will be gone in the weekend, but they'll have another one." Now, is it true that the incentives they offer may be gone that week? Yes, but they almost always offer new ones. It may not be exactly the one you saw in that time that you visited, but whatever they are, they're going to be fair. They're going to be equitable across the board. If they don't offer one for the house that you saw in the beginning, and the next week you go out and go, hey, you know what? I wish we could have got that. 9 times out of 10, that same type of floor plan will be there with different incentives, but they'll be just as beneficial to you either way. And Shane and I will make sure that you know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to add real quick, what we may end up finding out is that with a particular builder, they can have multiple communities with the same floor plan that you like close by, still within where you're comfortable with living. And we may find that there could be something like the property tax rate is different. And that, of course, has a direct impact on your monthly payment. So that's another thing to really consider. Hey, we're, this is the last weekend that we're offering this. Well, we may find, like I said, a nearby community offering the same floor plan actually less expensive. So always keep this in mind that you have multiple options. As much new construction that is going on in and around San Antonio, you have many, many different options, and it's. I'm so happy to be able to spread this great news for
Absolutely,
sure.
right. And that's the key to all of this. As much as we want to help people get into a home, we don't want you to get into the wrong home. We like to make sure that we love to tell people it's your 1 out of 10, and then when they tell us they're 11 or 12, we're
Yes.
like that's what we like to hear. We're not looking at rental homes. Maybe on a rental home, 8.5 is good, maybe 9s. But when it's time for you to purchase that home to get away from rentals, we want you to say, hey, I wanted a 2-car garage. This has a 2.5-car garage. I couldn't believe it. We were looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It has 2.5 baths, and the master bedroom is downstairs. We were totally fine with one upstairs, but we'd definitely rather have one downstairs. And we're like, well, then this is your 11, right? Yeah, actually it is, because our 10 would have been everything without those things. So we want to make sure that we show you some options that maybe you didn't think about, and those will make it a little bit easier for you to make that decision if and when you choose to make the purchase. And again, for doing the test drive with us, we are going to offer like a complimentary vacation voucher or something to help you, whether it's a rebate. Typically, we look at about $500 to help you out with closing costs or with your inspection or warranty, or even after the fact. I've had one client where we got offered quite a decent sized bonus. So I gave them a gift card to Home Depot. He went and bought a riding lawnmower, He got a weed eater and I guess the stuff to collect it all together. It was 3 different items, but he's like, man, thanks so much. Like we couldn't afford that without. So we could have because you saved us so much money. But it was just nice to know that in addition, I'm like, yeah, the more they offer us as realtors, the more we can give back to our clients. Yeah, we definitely don't work for free, but when they offer more, we give back more. And we know that a lot of agents don't feel that way. But from Shane and I perspective, it just makes sense. If they're going to help us, why shouldn't we help you? Because the ultimate goal is to help more families. And of course, we may not be working for free, but we're definitely not going to try to break the bank or cause you to feel like you're getting raked over the coals. Our goal, again, is to ultimately help you save thousands of dollars upfront and over time.
That's right. That's right. I couldn't have said it any better. We're here for you, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for everyone who's in San Antonio or around San Antonio and the folks that are outside of San Antonio not familiar with it, we decided to bring up a map for everyone. So what you can see here on the map is obviously the city itself. But what I want people to pay attention to is there's two loops, right? You got the inner loop, which is 410, the outer loop, which is 1604. That pretty much makes up what people consider San Antonio proper. Then the surrounding areas are typically outside of this area. When we talk about USDA and some of the zero down homes, a lot of times it's going to be outside of 1604. There are a few that are inside 1604, but when we say rural, it's not going to look rural to you. It's probably going to look like a very well-populated area. Now, just from the bases, if you're a military member, you're going to see Randolph, Fort Sam, and Lackland Air Force Base. They kind of run diagonally. There's a couple of other bases here, but for military members, that's primarily what you're going to see. Now, the community we're talking about is over in this area. So we're actually going to run down, actually it's down here in Potranco area. It's going to be over here. So if you keep going down this road, you'll run into what they call Castroville. But prior to that is the community. So if you're near Lackland Air Force Base, it's really close by. A lot of shopping areas over here, a lot of shopping areas up here. And then, of course, San Antonio is rather easily accessible depending on what highways you're close to. So if you're on 90, you can run pretty much through the entire city because this is probably the least traveled road on holidays. During work days, I won't say that, but on our weekends and holidays, there's not a whole lot of traffic. People catch 90, go to 10, head out to Houston. You can go 90, go up to 35, go down 37, head to South Padre Island. You can go up to Austin. You can go up to Dallas. I mean, everything that, within a certain, I say all within 5 hours drive. So.
And I would just say back to where you were, where Chesmar, Potranco Oaks is, you've got that highway running north and south called 211. And let me tell you, folks, if you're not familiar with San Antonio or you're not familiar with at least that side of San Antonio, that is a very nice, smooth, widened, and completed road highway. It's a highway that will take you from Highway 90 all the way to Highway 16, or most of us know it as Bandera Road, and that will take you out to the hill country. So that 211 right there is just really very, very helpful. And we want to make sure that you know that you're going to have a easy way to get in and out of that area and get on major highways and get to where you need to get.
Absolutely. There you go. All right. So with that brings us up to the series that we're going to be going over today and showcasing the Chesmar Homes series offered at Potranco Oaks. Out there, they let us know that, it's a spacious living area. There's where luxury come together in perfect harmony, right? Spacious living and luxury. I think that's probably exactly how to describe it because, again, there are some of the last few half-acre lots available close to San Antonio. And, of course, very luxurious units. And you'll see that here in a second. Anything you want to add, Shane, before we get to those homes?
I can't wait to see the video.
All right. Let's take a look.
Just share it with everybody.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, you're going to really enjoy the beauty out there, and they keep it very clean and very quiet.
Absolutely. All right, here we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Isaac Gonzalez, and I'm with Chesmar Homes at Potranco Oaks. I'm so excited to talk to you guys all today. Here at Potranco Oaks, we've got two beautiful collection of homes that you'll be able to see today. Talking a little bit about Chesmar Homes, there's really 3 unique things that make us different. One is all of our families can walk into our model homes and be able to replicate the look and the feel for close to or just near the base price of the home. What that means for you guys is you guys can come into a model home, fall in love with something, not have to worry about it being $200,000-$300,000 more expensive than it actually is. You'll be able to actually live in it the way that you see it. The second thing that makes Chesmar so unique and so different is our on-site design center. So that means you come into the model home, you get to have fun in here. There is no going off somewhere else. There is no I have to stick to a 2-hour appointment. You get to do it here, and you get to do it with me, right? The third thing that I would tell you that makes Chesmar unique is our ability to make changes. Maybe there's a door frame that you need wider. Maybe there's a wall you want opened up. Hey, I don't know that answer, but guess what? You and me will team up together, and we'll be able to help make your dream come true. This beautiful collection of homes starts right at 2,000 square feet and goes all the way up to about 3,200 square feet, right? Price ranges from the 460s all the way to the 560s. In this beautiful collection of homes, you see these beautiful windows, the size of it, that's going to be standard. Blinds come included, that's going to be standard, right? The ceiling fan in the office, the family room, the game room, the primary, that's going to be standard. The size of the island, that's going to be standard. Garage door opener on the 2-car bay, that's going to be standard. Full sod and sprinkler system, that's going to be standard. The 8-foot front door, guess what? You heard me right, that's standard, right? Blinds come included, again, that's going to be standard. All the other bedrooms are going to be blocked in wire for a future ceiling room, that's standard. Here at Chesmar Homes, we pride ourselves, and a lot of what you see comes included with our homes. This beautiful collection of homes that you're seeing, if you're building from the ground up, we're going to offer you 3% of the base price of the home to build from the ground up. And when families use our in-house mortgage company, I'm going to give you $9,500 to use for closing costs. In addition to that, if you'd rather use some of that 3% of the base price, I can offer you 0% interest for the first 6 months for our families that use FHA and VA loans. In addition to that, let's say you find a beautiful home that's already complete. I'm going to have 2 amazing programs that I can offer you. One is a fixed rate of a 4.99, or number 2, I could do a 3-2-1 buy down with the first year rate starting as low as 2.75, and then years 4 through 30 locking it at 5.75.
All right. Good deal.
Hello,
I know one thing
everyone.
for sure.
I
know one thing for sure. They make beautiful, beautiful homes for sure. And this community will not disappoint. Will not disappoint.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that was just a little bit about one of the series. And I know we got a little bit more footage from Isaac on the second. Yeah, we ready to take a look at that one, Shane?
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right.
Hey everyone, another common question that I get asked is why choose Chesmar Homes at Petrenko Oaks? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of really good reasons. The first reason is the Texas-sized home sites. So out here, you're going to have home sites as large as half an acre to 0.62 of an acre, right? As well as the surrounding areas. So you've got literally HEB within 10 to 15 minutes from here. You've got brand new Chick-fil-A that just opened up. You got Dutch Bros for all you coffee lovers out there. I know I'm a coffee lover as well. You got Starbucks. You have gas stations. Businesses are coming up. Even down the road, you got Microsoft is building a major data center. So if Microsoft is coming to the area, you know that that's a safe bet. We have one collection of homes that's going to sit on just a little bit about half an acre, right? And with that, you're going to have Texas-sized homes with homes starting at 3,000 square feet all the way up going to 3,822 square feet. And some floor plans even a standard 4-car garage. Shoot, there's even some floor plans that I can give you a 6-car garage. So that's unique and what makes Chesmar Homes at Petrenko Oaks a little bit different. There's actually several unique things about this collection of homes. Is one, you're going to get a standard outdoor fireplace. 3-car garage is going to be a standard. 8-foot doors throughout the entire house is going to be standard. You're going to have ceiling fans. And yes, the ceiling fans that you see are going to be in the family room, the office, the game room, the primary bedroom. Those are all going to have your standard ceiling fans. The beautiful appliances that you see here, that's going to be standard. The 5-burner gas cooktop, that's going to be standard. The taller baseboards that you see here, that's going to be standard. The beautiful flooring that you see here, guess what? That's standard too. This beautiful islands that you see in this model, that's standard as well. There's quite a bit of things that in this model home that is standard that you don't have to add to it because we've got you covered. For this month, our beautiful incentives are going to be as follows. On our half-acre collection, if you're building from the ground up, you're going to get 5% of the base price of the home as to use however you like. In addition to that, if our family uses our in-house mortgage company, I'm going to give you an additional $12,000 for closing costs. If you're a VA or FHA, guess what? I can also use some of that incentive money to where I can offer you 0% interest for the first 6 months. Yes, that's 0% interest for the first 6 months, which that'll save you on a price of this home anywhere from $25,000 to almost $30,000 alone. One of the most attractive features actually about Chesmar homes over here at the Petrenko Oaks is the peace and quiet that all our families get out here, right? So what that means is a lot of families build their in-home amenities. So most of the families build their pools and they're right in their backyard. You're looking for that tranquil, that peace and quiet. That's why families come to the Petrenko Oaks.
All right.
It's hard to beat that. 6-car garage, Julian.
Right.
Amazing.
It sounds almost unbelievable, right? But yeah, they can do so much.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, something they brought up about the amenities right there in your own backyard. It's that's one of the things that's what people are looking for. They're not looking for necessarily a central pool and playground and all of that. This is going to be a community that is all about home sites, and in turn with that, again, being a little bit further out, having the space and everything, you're going to find, like I've already said, it being very tranquil and quiet. If that's what you're looking for, this is an excellent opportunity.
You are 100% correct, and I think where people who've gotten used to new builds may start wondering, like, when can we add that pool? When can we get a place where we put a pool or have a nice size, recreation center in our own home or in the backyard? Well, this is a community for that. Exactly what you said. It may not be a community center that's centralized for everybody where they can go use a community pool and all those things. But when you have a half-acre lot to work with, you can do it all yourself. And I think, like exactly what you're saying, for the people who want those things, they can have it. If they don't need it. They just have the space. So it's a beautiful combination of, as I said, spacious living and luxury. Like, you have pretty much whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with those homes. And of course, you have all the space you need. All right, now here we are with our incentives. We'll go over these as best we can, but you kind of heard Isaac going over it in the videos. But we just want to kind of take a little bit of time and explain, how that helps you as a potential homeowner or home purchaser. The larger lots, as you heard, half acre, they come with a 5% base price plus $12K in closing costs. So if you do the math on a lot of these, you're going to find out when you reduce the price, that's going to lower the monthly payment a bit. Closing costs lowers the amount of money that comes out of your pocket. If you were to compare this to a new build home in this price range, imagine what that looks like. You can imagine if it's a $750,000 home and they don't reduce it by 5%, this is normally what we'd be trying to negotiate for you from the seller. Hey, it's $750,000. Would you be willing to take $715,000 or $725,000? Well, the builders are saying to us, this is what we're offering. If you bring people to us, we're telling you up front. So we're not going to do any, bait and switch. We're telling you guys up front because you're on our VIP list as realtors. So we're sending you this information so you can bring people out here and we'll make sure that they get this 5% off. See, they're enticing us with incentives for you guys, because they know that when we have those type of relationships with them, that we're going to look out for you. They know they can't get the word out, so they use us to get the word out. And then, of course, we're going to pass on those savings, 5% off the base price plus $12K in closing. And then we show you your bottom line. It's massive. Now, for the smaller homes, if you're building from the ground up, they're 3% off the base price instead of 5%, and then $9,500 towards closing. But trust us, regardless, when you save 3% plus $9,500, you can already do the math on, 700,000. 3% of 700,000 is what, $21,000. So if you're saving 21,000 plus 9,000, you're already at 30,000. So if Shane and I are out there helping you find these homes and we're getting these reductions for you, because not all of their homes are going to have these incentives. And when we take you out there, we're going to make sure you see the homes with incentives on them and not the ones without them, because guess what? The ones without the incentives are the ones that they're going to build typically from, a different place. They're not going to be closing as quickly. And if they're not closing as quickly, then they don't typically offer those incentives. And they may encourage you to buy those versus the ones that we're going to encourage you to purchase, because they send them to us for a reason. Now, what are some of these other programs out there? The 0 interest for the first 6 months. All right, this is a new one. Shane,
Yes.
have you heard of a 0 down or 0 interest program from any other builders?
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, and it's crazy, because when you think about what that means, luckily they broke it down for us. But it's like, well, how does that help? Well, Shane and I have said this over and over, and we'll continue to say it. Ultimately, we want to save you, the buyer, thousands of dollars up front and over time.
Yes.
Well, look at how much you're saving if you have 0 interest. Over time, you are literally going to save between $15,000 and $25,000 because you didn't have any interest to pay in the first 6 months. Just imagine that. Typically, when you think principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, the majority of the payment goes toward the interest.
Yep.
Well, now they're paying your principal balance down. And if your principal balance gets paid down early, that principal that you're getting covered for the first 6 months isn't being charged any interest. So now after 6 months, months 7 through 30, now you'll get charged interest on those, but you'll be starting at a lower principal balance. It's crazy. If you bought a car and someone said, well, the first $1,000, you don't have to worry about it. You won't get charged interest until we get to $9,000. Well, that's going to save you first off $1,000. Plus, since you're only being amortized on the $9,000 instead of the $10,000, you're going to get lower for that too. Like, hey, that's pretty cool. So,
you know what? Now that you say that last part, that I tell you, this is like the gift that keeps on giving, because after 6 months, you're right. Your actual principal is lower.
Yep. And
Man,
so you're not. Think about it, right? You're not being amortized on the entire amount to start with, and now 15, 25,000. That's pretty much what 3 to 5% that you're saving on a house, and then only being amortized on it after that. Okay, so you're really doing a lot better than you think. Again, if you're not working with us, how do you find out about these things, right? That's the key to this entire thing. So, now the last piece on this is a quick move-in homes. It's 4.99 interest rate with good credit, of course. But anyone who's had interest rates shown to them in the 6, 7s, or 8s probably knows that on a $300,000 home, you're going to save probably $300-400 if your interest is at 8 and you get it at 4.99. Now it's 4.99 fixed rate through the builders, and they have a second option for you. If anyone feels like maybe I don't want to make payments up front early on, I'd love this house, I just don't want to try to make that payment right up front. And people say, well, why would we want to do a 3-2-1 buy down? So if you think about it in reverse, it's 1, 2, 3, right? So the first 3 years away, then 2 years away, then 1 year away. So when you're 3 years away from your 30-year fixed payment, it's 2.75. Then 2 years away, 3.75. 1 year away, 4.75. And then year 4 through 30, 5.75. So someone says, well, why would I give up the 4.99 to do that? Well, what if you knew you had a $500-600 a month car payment, and you knew in the next 2 to 3 years it was going to be paid off? You're like, oh, I could actually afford that payment at 5.75 in 3 or 4 years. I'll pay my car off. Now you got equity in the property, because again, the lower the interest rates, the more equity you're going to build, the lower the monthly payment, and of course, less interest. The interest rates equate with the amount of interest you're paying toward the principal balance. So over those first 3 years, you're actually, again, making a smaller payment, paying less money, And as Shane and I will continue to tell you, you're saving thousands of dollars up front and over time. That's literally what we're here for. And we will make sure we're worth whatever our fees are. And again, rebate a portion of those back to you whenever we have enough to do that.
And I've got some great news right now at Petrenko Oaks. There are some quick move-ins. They're ready to close in the next 30 to 45 days. So we'll be more than happy to show you those and see what your options are. And maybe building a home is more of what you're looking for. You've got those options. These, I got to tell you, Julian, these are some unbelievable incentives. Unbelievable.
No kidding,
Really,
right? Yeah, and if you're working with us and you're watching this video, make sure that you go down in the description section and click on the links that will help you get some of the free resources we have. Number one, but also number two, schedule an appointment with us.
Yes.
Because there's no fee for us to do a consultation with you. Now, if we decide to go tour homes, we've already talked about the buyer rep agreement, but we'll explain that in detail too. And what better way than to do it from a Zoom call or something like that, where you don't feel like there's any pressure. We just explain it to you. Whatever comments you have, you're free to ask. Anything that you weren't clear about here, we'll be more than willing to share it with you. But definitely go down in the description, click the links, and that way, if there's some free resources available, you get access to those. And of course, reach out to us for a consultation. That's what we're here for. So I think that kind of wraps up everything we had about the homes and the incentives. But I think we got one more piece, Shane. Is it time for the drawing?
Well, even before we get to that, I do want to add, when you work with Isaac, you're going to have a great experience. I just want to give you a little bit of insight on one of the things that he really talked about, and that was the fact that they can make modifications. I actually had a client, so this was a husband and wife. Her parents were also going to be living with them, and their teenage son was also going to be a member of the household. And so the home that they wanted was going to be a 2-story with the primary suite downstairs, along with one other bedroom and another couple bedrooms upstairs. And what they really wanted, they had the lot that they wanted, and they absolutely loved this floor plan. And they asked, is there any way that Isaac, can you guys have another primary suite built downstairs?
Wow.
When they asked that, Julian, I didn't know what to say, because there is space, but how do you do all of that? How do you figure all of that out? And on the spot, we had the resources there that Chesmar has to be able to start to talk through this and what could be done to make their dreams come true with the home that they wanted. And I will tell you, it worked. It happened. They got the floor plan modifications, and we're talking big modifications. Big modifications. And again, making a room where there wasn't a room.
There you go.
Or expanding the area. It was quite a feat as far as I was concerned, because it made the house look very different than what it was. And I will tell you, they hit a home run. Isaac and his team at Chesmar Homes hit an absolute home run for my clients, and they are extremely happy with their home. The Chesmar already builds a beautiful home, as you guys saw in the videos. I hope that was clear. At the same time, and that includes the insulation and keeping it as efficient as possible in the home. But then you add on the great attitudes that Isaac and his team were able to come together and make all of this happen, and just the workmanship and everything. And I just say my hat's off to Isaac and his team and what they've accomplished, and what I know that they can accomplish going forward. In working with Isaac, as he was also saying, you're going to actually work there at Petranco Oaks. That larger 3-car garage is their studio, where you pick the different brick and the different flooring and all of that right there. So you're not having to go way across on the other side of town in some other location, meeting with somebody else that you never met before, and having to go through all of the things that you want to pick. You're going to do that all right there at Petranco Oaks, and it's a absolutely wonderful experience working with Isaac and working with his team and just taking advantage of what Chesmar has to offer. I just can't say enough about Chesmar. They really stand out, and I know you feel the same way, Julian.
Oh yeah,
they really stand out, and they're great to work with. Great to work with.
Yep, they make a different product that, in my mind, would easily compete with these, luxury homes that are custom built to spec. When they basically do this from a template, and again with their modifications, it's more of a semi-custom home, and it competes with any of the completely custom homes, in my opinion. So absolutely, yeah. But yeah, all great information. And again, why are you here with the virtual open house, guys? Because this is the stuff we can share with you guys on a regular basis. We know where to find the deals, where to find the incentives, where the nicest homes are, the type of homes that you're looking for. Maybe you don't even know you're looking for. We have access to them. So that's what we want to make sure everyone knows right before we jump into this drawing. So we ready to knock that part out, Shane?
Sure. Yeah. How many are there?
We got 6 people that are registered, and maybe a few extras that chime in later, but you're only eligible if you registered ahead of time.
Okay. Pick a number between 1 and 6. I think this is working. Hey, Siri, pick a number between 1 and 6. Okay. I hope you can see that.
This is number, I can't see it. What does it say? 5?
5.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
All right. So number 5. All right. We're going to go to the next slide. So we didn't make this up. There's our winner, Cynthia Maria Ortiz.
Congratulations.
So there you go. We'll get the word out to you guys about the gift cards. It's just a Starbucks gift card. Most people love them. It may not be, a steak dinner or anything, but if you drink Starbucks, I'm sure you appreciate it. I know I do. Starbucks gift cards come in handy. Those days where I'm like, I don't happen to have a couple of dollars in my pocket, and you know what? Here's this gift card. I'll use it. But there you go. It's definitely worth at least showing up to get that, right? If not all the information we have.
Congratulations, Cynthia. Awesome. And you didn't even have to leave your house, right?
There you go, right? Yep. For the comfort of your home, Starbucks gift cards in your potentially eventually in your pocket, right?
Well, I tell you, this is really helping a lot of people. I know it is, by getting the word out like this. You don't even have to leave your house, like I've said before, and you can already be so further down the road with what your game plan is and how to get it done, with Julian and I being right by your side and being able to get real insight on the different builders out there, the different communities, where you ultimately want to be, and knowing that Julian and I have the knowledge, the expertise, the experience to be able to say, hey, here's what your options are over here. Here's what this builder offers here. And like I was saying before, it may come down to finding the same builder with the same floor plan in a couple different communities, and really it has to do with the tax rate or maybe whatever promotion that they're offering right this moment that can really make the difference. And we are that quick and nimble to be able to move from one to the next and be able to make sure that we are finding the right option to save you money now and in the future down the road. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Money is very precious, and so is your time. And this is going to help you in the long run in finding that right home. I've got to say, Julian, once again, we are making a difference for our clients.
Absolutely, man. And exactly what you're saying. A lot of times people don't think about the idea of, all right, I keep being told by my lender, I qualify for $500,000. Well, Shane and I will be the first to tell you that $500,000 on one side of town won't buy you as much house as it will on another side of town. And we know the difference. So if we can show you this house that you love and you're like, well, how could I get this exact same house? And I don't mind moving to a neighborhood maybe a few miles down the road. How does that help me? Well, because at tax rates, as Shane mentioned, the interest rates could be lower. They may offer different incentives. You might see a $250 change in monthly payment for the same priced home. So if you're thinking, well, shoot, I didn't want to pay $2,500 or $2,750, $2,500 was my limit. Wait a minute, you're telling me in this neighborhood I could get it for lower? Well, the prices of the homes may be a little bit lower because maybe they're not as close to certain amenities. And you're like, well, I don't care about that. So our goal is to make sure that you get what you want based on your time frame, your budget, and the location you most prefer. So overall, that's the message you want to share with you guys. In addition to the fact that, again, we want to save you money up front and over time every single time you work with us.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
All right, Shane. Well, we can wrap it up here unless you got anything else.
No, hey, thanks everyone for joining in with us this Saturday, and we feel very privileged to be able to share all this great insight with you and all this detail and all of the ways that we are here to make sure that you are getting the best options, the best home, the best location, and everything, even the cost savings for
Absolutely.
you, and
Yep.
making sure that you know that we're in your corner, not somebody else's corner. Thanks a lot.
Yep, we really appreciate it. And don't forget, like and subscribe to our channel and go in the description to look for those links, because we definitely want to make sure you get those resources and be able to schedule a consultation if you want to hear more and have us explain anything to you. All right, with that, Shane and I, we're out here.